for the invitation to be here today. I'm very honored to represent US FDA and our new commissioner, Dr. Scott Gottlieb. As many of you may know, our new commissioner arrived about 5 weeks ago at the agency, and we're still learning about his vision and how we can help execute that vision. It is my pleasure to be on an international panel here and to talk about and re-emphasize our commitment to international collaboration. I'll talk about that in a bit. But as many of you may understand, the commissioner, as I just said, has been here for 5 weeks, and we're trying to understand first his domestic agenda. So what I'd like to do to set the stage is to describe to you what it has been like at FDA for the past 5 weeks, what we can learn about his eventual tenure, and then talk about one of the successes that we've achieved since the new administration has been elected and the commissioner has arrived. And that success is mutual recognition, the agreement between the EU and U.S. FDA with respect to GMP inspections for drug facilities. But let me start by explaining what it has been like for the past 5 weeks. And I can tell you that we have an activist and innovative new commissioner. And with an innovative commissioner comes new thinking and the ability for new and different types of collaborations that will lead us in better scientific development and the use of the law to converge with the science so that we can learn how to regulate better and more efficiently. The commissioner's priorities have been laid out already for the domestic agenda, and number one on that list is to do everything that the US FDA can do to stem the opioid abuse epidemic in the United States. We welcome the opportunity to speak to other regulators about a problem that has been plaguing the United States for many years and continues. This activist and new commissioner has already taken steps in his first 5 weeks to creatively think about the problem, to set up a commission to think of new ways to deal with the problem, and perhaps more importantly, or it is more illustrative, that the commissioner has already taken action in his first 5 weeks to address the opioid abuse epidemic. And what he has done is to recommend to a manufacturer that a particular opioid product be taken off the market. Based upon scientific evidence, he made this recommendation because the risk-benefit analysis for this particular drug has changed and the abuse potential has increased. That type of new thinking and utilizing all of the scientific and legal authorities that FDA has, I think, is a sign of things to come. The other example that I wanted to give to you from his first 5 weeks is his emphasis on drug pricing, which I know is an issue that affects all of the regulators here and all countries around the world. Traditionally, FDA has not been seen as an active participant in the debate over drug pricing. However, this commissioner very early on has testified and has said in written notes to staff that he wants the FDA to intervene because he sees this and the administration sees this as a high priority issue to address. And what he has talked about in the drug pricing area is the need for a certain number of generics to be on the market so that the competitive forces will actually result in a reduction of prices for the US consumers. And it is a critical priority of his to do that. In addition, he has talked about publicizing where there is a need for generics to enter the marketplace, and is working, as FDA has been working for many years, to reduce the generic approval backlog at the agency and to continue to encourage more competition among generics. And he has said on the innovator side that it is critical to get better therapies for the most serious diseases, and when we have those innovative therapies, the cost of healthcare overall will be reduced. I think this high-energy approach to existing and pre-existing problems will be seen also in his approach to new technology. Dr. Gottlieb comes from a background as a doctor, as a patient, as a participant in both public and private industry, and he brings a vantage point to new technology that will be, hopefully in collaboration with all of our partners, even more efficient and effective into the future. He has already put out guidance on how we are going to start thinking about new technology, like everyone has been trying to deal with health apps and new combination products. And we can expect him to take action, but action that is carefully considered after consulting a wide range of experts across the FDA and across the world. He is a very approachable commissioner. You can see him on the US FDA campus having lunch in the cafeteria with employees. He values input from a wide range of people. He has been thinking a lot about counterfeits and counterfeits that are coming into the United States, spiked with fentanyl, which contributes to our opioid abuse problem in the United States. He's talked to many people across the agency already about how we can deal with this counterfeit problem, which is one that plagues many countries around the world. It is hard to say what we'll see in the next few years from this commissioner, but I know that he's very focused on making regulatory work innovative. We all, people in public health, hear all the time about how inefficient we are, how we stifle innovation. And every commissioner tries very hard to battle that stereotype. And I believe we will still continue to see that battle from our current commissioner. But he expects, and I think we should all expect, our regulatory agencies to be innovative. And innovative and being able to be innovative, one might think that you need experts in every possible discipline to manage the evolving technology. But that's impossible. We want entrepreneurs who are thinking ahead of where we are. But what we do need at FDA, and what the commissioner has already testified about twice, is to have people at FDA, both existing employees at FDA and new employees at FDA, who are bright and creative and forward-thinking and intellectually honest. Those type of people will help the agency move into the future. And critical to that is maintaining a budget across FDA that we can use to ensure that those type of people remain and come into the agency. Dr. Gottlieb has testified twice in his past 5 weeks to justify the FDA's 2018 budget. He stressed his innovation agenda. In fact, yesterday he committed to reducing the orphan drug backlog in the next 90 days. That is a significant commitment to innovation and treating diseases that have not previously had any treatment. And we look forward to this type of inspired action going forward. I was struck as I was walking around DIA yesterday, the number of sessions on different ways to approach clinical data usage and clinical trial design, as well as the use of real-world data and real-world evidence. And that is a legal requirement now in the United States, that we begin to use and really harness the power that is in real-world evidence and in new and innovative clinical trial design. We will be doing that under new laws and powers that we have in the US. We also have a new legal mandate, although it isn't new at FDA, to engage with patients even more than we have in the past. And many of us have followed very closely the efforts of other regulators to wade in and embrace the idea of using patients to assist in driving scientific development and innovation. FDA will remain committed to developing international standards that benefit all of us globally. We need to engage on issues like ethical design of clinical trials and protection of human subjects. We need to engage on obtaining high-quality safety data. And we need to continue our work on quality manufacturing and GMPs. The commissioner in the last 5 weeks has begun to define his domestic agenda, and I think we can expect in the weeks to come more definition for his international agenda. He's stressed to me already twice his desire to do this and to expand his reach in the international areas in ways that complement the domestic agenda. We all rise together through partnerships, both scientifically and legally. One of the best examples of this in recent months is the conclusion of negotiations for the U.S. European Union Mutual Recognition Agreement that covers drug GMP inspections. It is a historic achievement for the FDA in particular because we've never implemented an agreement like this before. We have spent the last 3 years negotiating this agreement. It is complex because there are 28 countries in the European Union that need to be independently assessed by the FDA, but we have worked very diligently to have an assessment process that makes sense, that is efficient, and that will be easily defended at the end of the process. We look forward, and we have very much benefited from the process. I said yesterday with our Japanese colleagues that it makes a difference to actually go and spend time in other countries. I had the benefit of heading the FDA's Europe office for almost 3 years, and there isn't any other way to truly understand a culture than by immersing yourself in it. As part of the exercise of evaluating countries in the EU, officials across the FDA have visited and will visit every country in the EU. Many people have never been to those countries before, and it is a way to break down stereotypes, to build partnerships, and to truly understand how two different regulatory systems work, but how they really work to benefit public health overall. That really is the vision of the USDA, which is to bring together science, law, regulations, harness those for the benefit of public health overall. And we look forward to new collaborations, strengthening old collaborations, and moving forward into a new era at US FDA. Thank you.
Thank you, Dara.